In one of our most recent episodes, we show you how you can make wall decals and even glass decals for a big project on a restaurant using our Graphtec CE6060, which is a vinyl cutter used in a professional level that costs around $2,000 or more. But if you are on a limited budget and want to give this business a try by not investing much, well, this episode is for you because we did this other restaurant project with a vinyl cutter that cost barely $300 or more, and which, by the way, this project covered the whole investment on the machine and maybe even a vinyl roll. So make sure you stick around and give this video a like if you like it, and subscribe, of course. But let me just be clear on one thing. We do not believe in obstacles or limits, and we know a graphic cutter or a printer and a cutter will be a much better investment. And no, we are not being paid by Silhouette Cameo 4 to advertise them, even though we wish, yeah, right. But we want to show you the real capabilities of this little cutter and the tons of things that you can do with this machine, even when it costs barely $300. So let's begin.
So the main thing that you must know about Cameo cutters, especially the 12-inch vinyl cutter, is that, you can still use a cutting mat, but you don't really need it if you're using Oracle 651 or if you're using the Green Star. The vinyl has the backing paper which acts as a cutting mat, and it's thick enough. If you use the right settings on the Cameo cutter, you don't have to worry about the blade cutting through the paper. Another thing you must also know, or someone asked, how come we don't use the roller, the holder for the roller that comes with the vinyl cutter? This one works best if we are using a 10-yard roll, but as you can see, this one is thick and we've already used it quite a bit, and we have a hard time using it using this holder here that comes with the vinyl cutter. And oops, that was a lot of noise. We could, since we already have the application rollers, might as well use them. And you're about to see how we go about using it. And so the basic idea about using the rolls, the bigger rolls, is that if you have a Cameo 4, you can make big projects like this one here. We have done a few in the past, like the Blazer, the red Blazer. I don't know if we're going to be able to add like a short clip.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to use our big roll, as I mentioned earlier. And this is the way we use our application rollers. I'm going to make sure that I pull it like this underneath the first roller. Of course, I have to make sure that I do align our vinyl and the way you go about it. First, you got to feed the vinyl through the machine. Now the next step, I'm going to send quite a bit to the back of the machine. And just pay attention to how much the vinyl moves. So we're just pre-fitting our vinyl and it looks aligned. I can start sending the first, or working on the first cuts, and show you how we do it.
Make sure this back part is always not locked, because sometimes it's locked and you realize that when it's too late, when you're pulling the vinyl to the back.
So our settings, I'm gonna use the blade at a 3, and the cut force is gonna be at 13. Our blade is kind of old, we've used it quite some time, and I'm gonna have it at 13. The cut force speed is going to be about 12, and again the blade is gonna be at 3, and we're gonna start sending the first cut. And we applied some weeding boxes, and which makes it a lot easier if you only have one person. This is just a medium-sized project, not the project, but the cut that I'm making right now is medium-sized. And as you guys can see here, we could easily use the Graphtec, and the reason we are using the Cameo, as we've mentioned in the past, a lot of people already own the Cameo and they cannot afford upgrading to the Graphic. That's the reason we are making these videos. Yes, it's a lot, using the Graphic is a lot easier, faster. I mean, it just makes your life a lot easier. But if you already own a Cameo cutter, you do not have to limit yourself just making shirts or really small decals. Remember, don't forget that actually you don't really need to use the cutting mat every time. Okay, you can see right now it's cutting the wooden boxes. I think it's almost done cutting the whole design. Right now it's not making that much of a noise, and it's pretty early in the morning. There's not really much noise going on in the house, but you can hear it.
Yeah, it's loud, but could be worse.
Now our machine is finished, and I'm gonna cut the vinyl, and I forgot which button. Oh, this one here on top. I'm gonna send it all the way to the back. Since we have our wedding boxes, we can see where we need to cut the vinyl from. Well, it's a little dark in here. Now I'm going to, I can probably lower it down and then use the little cutting tool that the vinyl cutter has on the back. And see, you guys just witnessed how we cut the vinyl using our Cameo cutter. Okay, now I'm gonna put this on the side. We still gotta cut more vinyl, but we are done with a bigger decal. Now we need to put this on the side. We don't really need this anymore, since we are gonna use just smaller pieces of vinyl. Now, in the meantime, we're gonna start waiting out. We're waiting on the blue decal to finish, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with this here. And I'm gonna get rid of the main wedding box that we added. Let us know if you guys own a Cameo cutter and if you're happy with the purchase, or how you feel about it. If you recommend it to other people, let us know. I mean, it's always better to have other opinions, not just ours. We would like some feedback from you guys.
And we know there's gonna be different experiences because I seen all kinds. Some people like it, some don't. Some said avoid buying this one, but again, sometimes, I mean, it's just like everything else. I'm pretty sure somewhere someone got a defected graphic or a bad one. So, and as you can see, it was I think it was a perfect cut for setting.
Yep. Okay guys, since we used a lot of scrap pieces of vinyl, we have them all here, and I'm gonna start with this one here. I mean, we got done with the first section, the bigger one, and I added some wedding box to this one here, but oh, I see what happened. Actually, no, this is not the one that has the wedding box, or maybe it does. I just gotta be really careful with our registration mark because we really need that. And yeah, I see what happened. I added a line, if you guys can see here, but since the vinyl was bigger, I wasn't really sure if we were gonna have enough vinyl for this, and that's why I didn't actually add the whole wedding box to it. We got done weeding out. Now the next step will be to apply our transfer, and we're gonna use two different kinds of transfers. We're gonna use the AT, I believe this is the AT65 or 60, or the 60, AT60. This is the low tack. We're gonna use that to layer our different vinyls. And for the like the hours, we're gonna use the Clear Choice AT75.1. We got a new roll. We're almost out of this one, but we're gonna try to use this one. The tool that we used earlier, the application rollers, you can also use those to apply your transfer on top of your vinyls if you guys do not have any extra hands, as you guys can see here in the video. And for this last transfer, we don't really need to remove it, so we don't really have to worry about now. The transfer is going to stay on our sticker now. All right guys, we finished with combining all the different layers of vinyl. Of course, we applied our transfer, and the way we did it actually made it a lot easier. It's going to take less time when it comes to the application, since we already layered all the vinyls. And before we go, oops, upside down. But before we go there, you already know what we gotta do.
All right, so we decided to stop for some breakfast, and we had our breakfast already. We waiting for the restaurant to open so we can go ahead and start working on the installation. And you can see Saul is having a great time right now.
Yeah, enjoying my coffee.
All right, so we just cleaned it with Rapid Tack, and we're gonna show the owner, the manager, the positions, and we're gonna measure it and just give him an idea of the how it's gonna look like.
All right, guys, we already centered our arrow with the letters inside, and this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a dry application. We're gonna do one piece, and we're gonna start from the top and go to the bottom. We're not gonna record this because we want. I mean, it's a little bit tall.
Oh,
for
I
me.
can do it. I can just help you from this side.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, I want to get the shot, and it's kind of cold. I mean, yesterday the weather was so nice, and today is back to cold again and wet. It's raining. It's probably one of our worst enemies.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it can be a real challenge when you are doing a dry application, and I mean semi-dry, not completely dry because of the rain. But I mean, this vinyl is fine. It works fine if you do wet application. I mean, we've done it so many times. I mean, it's gonna be just fine.
It's perfect. All right, so even though it is a low tack, it's given us a little bit of a hard time. Just imagine how it will be if we use the AT75. For those that keep asking what's the difference or what's the purpose of having different transfers, well, here's your answer. You gotta know when you're gonna work in a cold surface or in glass, it is best when you do it with the AT60 or AT65. If it's hot and if it's metal, then AT75 is perfect for it. But now, we're gonna go work on the front.
We're gonna get rid of a few bubbles that we have. Not a big deal, honestly.
Now, you see why we combine this at home, because imagine if we had to do all of that here. It's really cold and the weather. You
my
gotta
hands
be
are
prepared.
freezing right now.
Yeah, so this is why we did it. Just install it and that's it. We're done.
Although it could be a pain when you are mixing it, but when it comes to the installation, like, you save a lot of time and you're not exposed to the weather as much. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning the door with Rapid Tag. So this is where we want the decal to be, and now I'm going to lift it and get rid of the backing paper. And for this one, we are using our R-Tape AT75. It works a lot better when we use this, although we just gotta be careful. We gotta take our time, and Luis is gonna help me right now because we don't wanna mess it up. We don't really have much time because people get in and out, so we wanna do it as fast as we can.
But right now it looks like it's going well.
Yeah, it's not too big of a decal, it's medium size, but.
All right, it's time to remove the transfer, and again, let's do it easy because this is the high
what can
tack.
happen. Look.
Yep. We are noticing that the longer you keep this transfer, the more difficult it's gonna be. It's because the weather is so cold.
All right, guys, we finally got it. This is the end result, so let's go and show you around how it looks.
So there you guys have it. And if you are curious how much we make from this project, we make $395 and the investment wasn't so much. So if you're planning to get a Cameo 4 and want to get started and perhaps later on invest on better equipment, it'll be a good option for you. Thank you so much. Give us a like if you like this video, and I'll be leaving a link to another video here of other projects we have made with Cameo 4. Thank you guys so much. I will see you on the next episode.